I'm reviewing the most realistic airports that you have built. Previously, Grenoble Airport was voted as the best airport and will progress to the grand finale. Comment down below which airport featured in this episode deserves a spot in the grand finale as well. Welcome to Karim Aviation International Airport. A fine looking tropical airport thanks to some very nice details, like the background, which really adds to the realism of his airport. Also in the middle, he added a spotting place for people to watch the aircraft, which is a really cool addition. This image right here also looks very nice, even though there is no ground service equipment around the aircraft, though the sunset background makes it look very realistic anyway. The modeling grass on the airport looks nice, and I like that he added some tropical palm trees on there. Overall, a really nice looking and detailed model airport. Welcome to Luzern Airport, an awesome looking Swiss airport, with the most interesting detail being the terminal, on which he has added Christmas lights. That makes a very cool effect at night. I also like all of the activity of aircraft in the foreground, with two aircraft pushing back, a bunch of ground service equipment around the Swiss A320, and these two wide bodies in the back. Also on the modeling grass he added some tiny grass tufts, which is a cool addition to his airport. This is Siem Reap Angkor International Airport, an airport located in Cambodia, and it has an incredibly detailed and fantastic looking terminal, with some very cool looking scenery around it. On the right here he has got this plant which looks incredible, and I think the rest of the modeling grass does so as well. He really neatly cut the modeling grass out. In Cambodia and the rest of Southeast Asia there are a bunch of temples, and this airport terminal also kind of looks like a temple. The parking lot features really detailed looking cars and even a crashed one. I hope they are alright. Here we see the terminal from the other side. Once again, I love the detail and realism. On the air side he has actual passengers boarding the aircraft, though you could still improve because there aren't any markings on here yet. So on the land side, an incredible airport with a fantastic looking terminal, though on the air side there are still some things to add and improve. Welcome to the 1:200 scale San Diego Airport, a recreation of Terminal 2. He's got an airport mat with on there a 3D printed terminal, which looks incredibly detailed. On the airport he has got a bunch of traffic. Almost every gate is filled with an aircraft, which makes the airport look very much alive. Around all of the aircraft he has got a bunch of ground service equipment as well. And what's really cool to see is that around the United aircraft is actual United ground service equipment as well. Another cool detail is that there are actual ground workers around the aircraft, like over here loading the baggage. Also on this image I like that the ground service equipment around the JetBlue aircraft is from JetBlue, and around the Frontier has actual Frontier branding. This is really what makes 1:200 scale collecting unique in my opinion. And he has done an incredible job at building a nice looking model airport. This is Poland's Independence Airport in Warsaw. It's a huge model airport with place for I think over 30 aircraft to be parked at the gate, which looks really cozy thanks to the Christmas lights that he added around the terminal. I really much like this image right here, as the tall apartment building is lit up and also the background with all of the lights look really nice. The airside of his airport looks a bit chaotic to me. The markings that should indicate two parallel runways right here look a bit chaotic. And also there is almost none ground service equipment around the aircraft, which will definitely add to the realism of the airport. And finally, I think if you add some windows to the terminal, your airport will look absolutely stunning. This is Auckland International Airport, an airport fully made out of paper and cardboard, including the model aircraft, which is a really cost-effective and cheap option. All of the ground service equipment and jet bridges he got from littlemodelairport.com, where you can download free ground service equipment to then print and fold yourself. He's done a really nice job at adding those to his airport. Also, he's built a terminal out of cardboard, on which you can consider adding an air traffic control tower. And to add even more 3D effect, you can add a light pole in between the aircraft gates. This is Sydney International Airport, a handmade airport, and it is built on some kind of cardboard surface. He's nicely cut out and created these hangars and labeling them with the numbers and the freight hangar. The markings I think he created using tape and they look really neat. My advice for you would be to add even more markings because you only have the taxiway lines right now. Also add some more jet bridges, models, and consider adding some modeling grass for some color, which will really add some realism to your model airport. Here is TDN Airport, a tropical airport in Indonesia. His airport features the Gemini Jets terminal, and he's built an airport himself around it, on which he has added this nice ILS box which he created using paper and wooden skewers. And also this fence which he created using mesh is a really nice detailed addition. My big tip for you is to make neat markings. The taxiways look pretty nice, though the red and white markings here on the aircraft stands can be made much neater using a ruler. I'm sure once you improve that, it will already make your airport more realistic looking. Welcome to Lufthansa Technik Philippines. And the airport is mainly used for maintenance flights and non-commercial purposes. The hangars look nice and I think the doors can actually move. Consider also painting the right hand hangar and you could add the Lufthansa Technik logo onto the hangars. What I think he's done really nicely is add some weathering along the taxiway line. The rubber tires leave some marks on the ground, which you can recreate in a few different ways on your airport. One of them is using coal. You could also use a pencil or an airbrush. Here we have Gorchester Airport. The airport is made with paper and the 3D printed buildings. And also the ground service equipment is 3D printed. The 3D printed terminal buildings and ATC tower look really neat. With your 3D printer, I think you can also print some air stairs. And maybe some jet bridges from the terminal to the aircraft. Also consider adding modeling grass instead of the green paper that you have right now. And you can add more markings. You only have the taxiway lines on your airport right now. Though on this image right here you can see there are more markings to be added, like the equipment restriction area, which is a red line. And also the bay number and this fuel spot right here in the ground are ground markings which you could consider adding. Here we have ZHY International Airport. A pretty big model airport with both a terminal here and remote stands on the right. Around the aircraft is a bunch of ground service equipment. And I also like this lineup of anti-icing equipment on the side. The terminal are a bunch of boxes that he made grey. Though you could consider adding some texture both on the roof and some windows on the side of the terminal. Also you could add some windows on the ATC tower. He's got a great variety of aircraft on his model airport. And what I also like is that he added smoke coming off the tires as this Norse Dreamliner touches down on the runway. Here is Washington Dixon Airport, which I want to show to you because he's got a really nice interior built in the airport terminal. He created multiple shops and the black are all seating areas where passengers can wait to board their flights. It's really cool to see that he spent so much time detailing the interior of the terminal. Also on the outside he has got a bunch of ground service equipment around all of the aircraft, which really adds to the realism of the whole airport. Welcome to Aeroport Internacional do Pacífico, a tropical airport located in the Pacific Ocean. And there seems so much to be going on and so much colors makes this airport really alive. Starting with the aircraft stands, I really like the looks of his terminal. He also added an interior to it, and what's really cool to see is that he added a small waiting area next to the aircraft stand as well. Around the aircraft is a bunch of ground service equipment, and the ground markings look really complete as well. He added gate signs, fuel spots in the ground and parking positions for ground service equipment. And when we take a closer look at the scenery at the airport, he added a bunch of trees, colorful flowers and bushes, and also some lights in the airport runway. And if it wasn't tropical enough, he also added a sea and a small beach. Even though it only fits 3 aircraft, I think there is so much going on this tiny model airport. He really did an incredible job at making it look as tropical as it possibly can. And in my opinion, this is definitely Grand Finale worthy. This is Forza Sky International Airport. A tiny model airport, and I thought that they forgot to add modeling grass. But actually, as it's located in Utah, they have a brown surface there and they don't have grass. If you want to make a dirt surface, you could, for example, add some dirt acrylic paint, which is specifically created for dioramas, which will make this look even more realistic. For the rest, I love these structured ground markings. They look great. I love that you also added the runway signs. You could consider adding some weathering as well. Using coal you can create the rubber tire marks, which will add a bit more realism. Though for the rest you have a nicely structured model airport. Since this airport is 1 to 200 scale, he has this cool lineup of private jets, which look really cool. And this model of the American Concorde is fabulous as well. Here is Mulberry Meadows International Airport. A small model airport with 2 runways and a terminal. You've done a great job creating the buildings out of cardboard, though you could give some color to both your terminal and air traffic control tower. Also consider adding jetways, ground service equipment, and some windows or textures to the front of the terminal to make your airport look more realistic. He has installed lights on the edge of the runway, which look nice at night. And the final airport of today is Flagstaff Pulliam Airport. It's got a single terminal with 3 aircraft stands and a taxiway around it. And he's done an incredible job at building this terminal. It's an exact replica of the actual terminal at the Flagstaff Airport. And he has very nicely recreated the terminal, I think using wood. On the airport he has got a nice variety of American aircraft, some nice ground service equipment, and overall a really nice looking airport thanks to the really realistic terminal. Thank you for watching to this episode of Model Airport Reviews. Comment down below which airport you think should progress to the Grand Finale. Please consider to like and subscribe, and then I will see you in the next video.